You've seen the results of this wash and go in a previous video. Now I'm sharing with you how I achieved this look. Hi everyone, this is Avena. I'd like to thank you for tuning in to my YouTube channel, Embrace Natural Beauty, where it has been my goal to share with you simple tips and techniques that have been helpful to me in my very own natural hair journey that has been literally 9 years now, that have helped me to maintain my hair, to keep it in good condition, and to retain length, which was always my goal. Because I want all of you who watch and who follow me to better maintain your hair, to keep it in good condition, and to retain length, if that happens to be your goal, so that you enjoy your hair and embrace natural beauty of your own. In today's video, I have the pleasure of sharing with you the way that I actually achieved the wash and go that I shared in a previous video that was prior to my haircut video, or prior to my haircut. It was in the video that I did my haircut, so it was prior to the haircut. And I also shared with you at the end of that video that I would be sharing more in a series of videos with different product combinations. Today's video is one that I did in June, and I'm still looking at some more products, more specifically leaning toward Black-owned companies. We know that Black Lives Matter, and if we're going to get our communities in order, we need to be supporting each other. So I'd like to be able to do that as much as possible. So Black-owned preferred, so long as it's within the guidelines of what I'm looking to do with my clientele, of course. And so that's what I'm doing. And I thank you for your participation in this series of videos. Look forward to sharing so much more with you. I almost forgot to talk about this here wash and go that I'm wearing today. So in my trying out different product combinations, this happens to be one of those product combinations I'm in the midst of trying. So this is not ready for demonstration because I'm still working on it. It isn't even a full week yet, so that's why it's definitely not fluffy. And there's some kinks that I need to work out in terms of the technique, because I believe the product has a lot of potential. So I really do look forward to sharing it with you when it's ready. But for now, this one doesn't count. This wash and go doesn't count, okay? And then without further ado, I'd like to share with you the way that I achieved the wash and go back in June using the Curlmix and the Curly Magic combination that I enjoyed so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm starting out on hair that has been freshly washed, conditioned, and detangled. And for those of you who've been rocking with me for a while, you know that I do not style on old hair. I'm always styling on freshly washed, conditioned hair. And I wash my hair typically every week. Now that we're past the quarantine, I'm back to my weekly washing. I also want you to know something that's different. You're probably used to seeing me working in 6 sections, but lately I've been working in 2 sections when I apply the first layer of the styling products, and I always keep the conditioner on the hair until I'm ready for styling. I do that to keep the hair soft and moist. I had to take a pause because the water was acting up, and this was out, the back was out for too long, so I just twisted it together just to keep it with some moisture. So now I'm going to rinse out the whole thing. The water acting up kind of threw off my routine, so that's why when I rinse the hair in this section, there's no conditioner or barely any conditioner. Now it's time for the styling. The first product I'm applying to my soaking wet hair is Curly Magic by Uncle Funky's Daughter. It's a curl stimulator that does a great job of clumping the curls together for super juicy definition. And even though it's not the moisturizer or a leave-in conditioner, it works really well for adding and continually drawing moisture to your hair strands. Since the Curly Magic is so very slippery, I would pump only 2 squirts into my hands, and I would emulsify it, get a good spread out on my hands for 2 reasons. First, it's so slippery I don't want it to fall and hit the tub floor. I'm styling my hair, not the tub. And then secondly, I want it to spread on my hands because I'm going to get good distribution of the product on my hair. Instead of having like a really big clump of product, having it spread out on my hands, I'm going to get really good distribution of that product. And now I did this several times, working my way from the root all the way down to the ends. Another thing you may notice is as I'm applying the product, I'm only smoothing. I don't start raking until much later. I can be pretty heavy-handed when applying products, but this was a very strategic application for me. I believe I did this combination the previous week and had already formulated in my mind the improvements I wanted to have. As you can see, I did another couple of pumps and using essentially the praying hands method to smooth it down my hair before I put it into twists. So I didn't really do any raking. And so I work in two sections when I do the first layer of product, which was the Curly Magic in this case. But when I do the second layer of product outside of the shower, I like to work in smaller sections. So having the 3 twists really helps me to prepare for the next layer of product application. 30 minutes later, when I get out of the shower, you see how when I take these twists down, how juicy they are with just the Curly Magic on it? Curlmix has various lines, so the one that I'm going to be using is the Pure Avocado Moisturizer. This is the one that's fragrance-free. I start off with 1 pump to see how well it spreads on my hair and how much weight it gives. I can tell I need a little bit more, and I add another pump. The manufacturer recommends a nickel size per section, but you have to consider your density and your length. 2 pumps per section were usually good for me. And now that I have enough product and weight, I began to rake it through for individual curl definition. Now this individual curl definition is not to be confused with the shingling method. This is definitely rake and smooth. And it looks like I got 4 big juicy curls out of that section. On the right side, I started out with 1 pump of the Curlmix. And after raking the section, I could tell it needed more weight, and that it wasn't going to come from 1 more pump of the Curlmix. I needed more water and more Curly Magic. So I saturated my hair with the water, and then I did 1 pump, just 1 pump of the Curly Magic. Then I was able to do another pump of the Curlmix. I'm extra sensitive to the right side of my hair, which sometimes curls a little bit tighter than the left side. So I make sure to weigh it down, and then I make sure when I look and compare them side by side, if the right side is hanging lower, then I know I got good curl definition, and it's going to balance out eventually when it dries. For the remaining sections, I found myself adding water to my roots and another pump or 2 of the Curly Magic to make sure that my roots would not get puffy. And then once I added the Curly Magic, I made sure to smooth it all the way down and even rake through for curl definition before adding the Curlmix moisturizer the same way. And with the Curlmix moisturizer, of course, I continued to add 2 pumps of the Curlmix. I'm just speeding this up because you know what rake and smooth looks like by now. But I do want you to know I do a lot of raking and smoothing to make sure I've got good definition for the finished look. Then I sit under the hooded dryer for an hour. I have not air dried in years. This is now fully dry hair, and that dent in the back is from my hairnet I used to keep the hair together under the dryer. And here are my on-camera comments. Day 1 using a different product combination. It's much flatter today, has lots of movement, very soft, very little crunch, and this is a really nice outcome. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this one expands over the course of the week. But yeah, day 1, not bad at all. Today marks day 8 of this wash and go with the fireworks in the background. I didn't get a chance to get it yesterday because it rained before I got a chance to come out here. So this held up extremely well, considering that I went running literally every day of this wash and go after the day after it was washed. So by day 2 I was running every single morning. Let me just check my calendar, but I believe so. I believe I started running Tuesday morning, and I sweated so much that I had to change the way that I wear my hair at night. The Curly Magic and Curlmix Moisturizer combination held up really well for a full week of heat and humidity in the month of June, as well as a lot of perspiration because I was running. It had definition, shine, movement, and moisture, and it was soft from start to finish. I've really enjoyed this combination, and I would be curious to know if you've tried it or if you're going to after watching this video. If you do, be sure to post your results on your social media page and tag me on either my Instagram or my Facebook. I'd love to see it. And again, thank you so much for watching and look forward to another video. I will have one soon.